My name is Dr. Nairam Simoes. I am the trumpet professor at Arkansas State University in Jonesboro, and I am here today in the beautiful town of Saarburg in Germany, and I decided to record this year's set 1 of the All-Region Etudes to hopefully help you better prepare as that time of the year is about to start. And I'd like to give a little bit of a commentary of each etude, and then I'll play it for you the way that I like to play, so hopefully that will help you in your preparation. Etude number 1. I really enjoy playing this one. It's the first one of the book and something that I have played before. A couple things for us to think about will be the expressive, slow, warm airflow that you gotta have throughout this. You give it a nice musical ideas, the phrases that the key about this is they are the very abrupt dynamic changes. You go from piano to fortissimo in like 4 beats, and then there's a lot of just agile fingerings that you have to work on, especially where it says leggero. Make sure you look up the definition. I'm not gonna tell you, so you can actually do some work here, but think of the in the 8th note subdivision, so it doesn't sound like make sure you're thinking 8th notes. And then the very end, I like to play it where it says piumoso. That means a little bit more movement. I like to give a little bit more emphasis, especially on the trick here. The low notes, remember here on the second line to the end, that E flat is a beat and a half. So another beat and a half. And then that one just kind of, don't forget to continue your airflow, and then you're just letting the tongue just float on the air. Don't stop there. That's gonna make the piece move and be more musical. Have fun. Etude 11. This one is a super cool one. I really enjoyed the triple tonguing that we have to do here at the beginning. Make sure you're always moving forward. That's like a peppy, nice feeling. Couple things to make sure that you're doing. Make sure you are marking your breaths. You can use the ones that are suggested. You can also copy what I just what I'm gonna do for some help in where to breathe. My biggest thing for you guys that I would suggest is on all those 16 note runs, make sure you are practicing your G major scale so everything is under your fingers, and that you don't forget to continue to breathe and make sure the articulation is correct. Sometimes it's in a different place than what you would expect, but make sure you are bringing those out. The trill is another one that most students usually are a bit early, so make sure we're thinking of 1, 2, 3, 4, pa-di-da-dum. Sorry for that, the very end, make sure those G's are in tune. Dum, dum, dum. And that you are always paying attention to the decrescendos and crescendos as well to give it more musicality. Let's do it. Getchell number 80. This etude requires very attention to your airflow. I cannot emphasize this enough. The phrases are very long and they are very kind of, I think, a little dark, a little like in a meditation type situation, because the composer says very slow, religioso, which means religious. So in my idea, it's I think of a monk on top of the mountains just meditating, and everything is very smooth. Things to pay attention to: the dynamics and the cup of the articulations that the composer indicates. You have the tempo, a little bit of push here, a little bit of lesser the tempo on the ritardando. You have tenuto markings, you have staccato markings. So the biggest thing for me in this here is on the end of the second line, when you grow from a piano to a mezzo piano and back, but most importantly, which I think is where all the piece goes to, this climax, is when you go to the tempo on that second to last line, and you go from a piano to a mezzo forte to a forte. That is the climax. So So make sure you're giving that, and then you go back on the diminuendo and the rallentando, so you go slowing down and getting softer until the end, and end with a beautiful G. Make sure you're paying attention to your tuning. First note is the same note that ends the piece, so it all centers around the G. So have fun. Getchell number 81, another one of my favorite etudes on this entire book. It feels like an opera, dramatic, just this opening of this beautiful musical. I think about it in two different characters, maybe three. The first one is the grandioso, which means big, which means majestic. Very open and regal. Yum, ba-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dee-da-da-dee-da. Make sure you are paying close attention to the dynamic change, because that's going to give the drama, and the ritardando, which means to slow down, and the diminuendos. The dolce section, which means sweetly. Make sure you are continuing to blow, but with a nice, steady, but warm, slow air to get the nice, gorgeous sound. When you get to the last itty bit here, the leggero part, which means fast, but it means also the agile. So make sure it's like a little ninja hopping around. So make sure you are getting the correct articulation, and remember that A sharp is the same thing as B flat, so 1, and the E sharp is the same thing as F natural, so 1. Pay attention to that detail. And then at the very end we have a little recap from the beginning, so try to play in that same style and end very, very dramatic. Dun 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 ti dun ti dun 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 da tira pumping pa. Should be fun. Getchell number 84. This is a typical etude to make sure that the player can distinguish between the triplets and the daughter eighth 16th note. So make sure that when you're playing your triplets, you're thinking triplet, 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 and when you're playing your daughter eighth 16th, you think one, one, one. Make sure that the distinction is very, very precise. That's going to give the correct feel for this etude. As you can see, there are no dynamic markings. The only thing it says is allegro, so a little faster tempo. I did it around 124. And that's pretty much it. Make sure that you are thinking about adding some dynamics for musicality and that you're very precise with your rhythm. Okay, Getchell Etude 105. So this one is one of my favorite etudes because it gives you the opportunity to be very musical and very expressive. The composer writes calmly. So how am I going to get that effect? Well, I think that you should use very slow, warm air to get the connection between the notes smooth. That's what I really want this, is just think of the word smooth. I like to use a little bit of vibrato, especially on the quarter notes, to give them some sense of direction, because music is always going somewhere, arriving at the destination, or leaving the destination. A couple other things here to make sure you're doing. Make sure you're doing the nice crescendo to the forte. This is your time to shine. That is the climax of this etude, is around on the second line on the third bar, the F. I think that's where you can really open up your sound. The rallentando at the end, make sure to also just add a little bit of a decrescendo to just give the sense that you are finished. Okay, let's play it. Getchell number 109. The composer specifies rhythmically. So, in my opinion, the way that you can get very good precision with this is to subdivide and think in 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 30, da, da. So you have to remember there's 6 8th notes per measure and they're grouped into 3. So if you can feel that, it's going to be much more precise. It's going to make your life much easier. Another thing here that you need to make sure you're doing is making sure that you're doing the crescendos and going down to the pianos. And really, it's just, this etude is not too challenging in terms of fingering or range or different articulations, except for the last measure where he puts a little staccato and attenuto, so make sure you're playing it short and then long. And really, it's just, the composer is just really trying to make sure you know how to subdivide and count, because the rhythms go back and forth. It can get a little confusing, but I'm sure with a little bit of practice, you'll be able to do it. So, shall we play?